Hey, we're live on the air.
What's
So,
up?
I just want to let you guys know, you've heard that we always have to have a definition of purpose, right? What is the reason that we do all of this stuff? What is the reason that I go sometimes 60 hours a week? Well, this just in. That's Stephanie. That's Stephanie, my 16-year-old daughter. She just blew through about 260 bucks at the hairdresser today, and she and she sent me a text, and it says, "Thank you so much. I love you. You are the best dad in the world."
Amen, brother. That's awesome. I love it.
Okay, so
That makes it all worthwhile, my brother.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So just so you guys know, on our radio show, we do a radio show every single day for you guys who are wondering what the heck this is about. And on the radio show, we always say, you got to have your definition of purpose. What are you willing to die for? What are you willing to actually kill for? There she is, gentlemen. She's only 16, so stand back. All right, listen, welcome. I want to welcome you guys. This is a worldwide webinar that we're doing tonight. We got people from all over the world, and this is only a test. This webinar today is the very first one that we're going to be speaking to people who are in the pre-launch or people who have been looking at joining us. And some of you guys who show up every single day. This morning on the radio show, we talked about what is coming. And what is coming is such a sophisticated animal, right? Like, we're putting together a webinar in your member back office. And for those of you guys who are wondering what this is, I'm going to show you our member back office in a little bit, okay? So stand by for that. We're going to show you some of the tools. One of the brand new tools that we're developing right now, though, it's actually been done today, but it came out of the oven a little bit too late to serve up today. But it's actually going to be a new link in your member back office where you're going to be able to go in there and invite people to this webinar every Thursday night. And invite them to this webinar. We're going to do a really cool presentation and a real relaxed explanation. And we're going to give people all the room and all the space that they need to make a relaxed and intelligent decision about getting started with our company, Traffic Authority. So that's coming up. We talked about that this morning. And when you invite people to the webinar, if they say yes to Traffic Authority and they buy on the webinar, it's going to be coded to you. You'll be able to make money right on the spot. It's very, very cool. Now we're waiting for Cara to get here. I'll have to go, and what I'll do is I'm going to play you guys a little video here. I got a couple things I want to share with you as we move through the next hour or so. And the first one up is a guy that is one of our leaders. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of the people, the executives who make the decisions today, and we were talking about how good this guy is. And this guy is going to become, hopefully, okay, one of the teachers on Traffic Academy. Now, for those of you individuals who are wondering what is that, all of you guys who took a pass on the pre-launch, you're going to find more about Traffic Academy tonight. And in Traffic Academy, this is one of the specialists that we're going to be bringing to the table. Dig this guy. Okay, I'm back. And thank you very much for being patient. I was just working there getting Cara, our next presenter, queued up. So that was Anchor, right? He was calling in. I think that video was shot when he was in India. He is currently in Australia. And that is a guy who was he was once on the top of the leaderboard. A little bit later this evening, you're going to hear from the #1 earner. He's right down there. Many of you guys know Vincent Ortega Jr. He is like the #1 earner. We're going to be hearing from him in a little bit. We're going to be hearing from Greg Chambers in a moment as well. And then also Cara is going to be coming in here to share a little bit about her experience and what's going on with her since she's been here a very, very short time. I want to share with you a couple other things, right? Like, can this really happen? Can this really, I mean, can anyone do this? Check this out, okay? One of the things we do here is we really want to inspire people, and we give away stuff, right? We have contests. And this woman here, she's in Vincent Ortega's group. She was the winner of an iPad that we just recently gave away just this last weekend. She has a very, very short, but one of the most powerful testimonials that we've acquired just in the last 30 days. So check out what she has to say. You know, you wonder, can anyone do this? Well, you be the judge. I
Look,
don't know. We're able to see, Ree. Did it play?
it looked good. Yeah, I saw it. I don't know
All
if
right.
they can see it,
All right,
but
cool. Well, on my screen here, you know, I got a little bit of stuff going on here. And Greg, would you let Cara know that I just sent an email to her Gmail account with her login credentials for tonight's webinar? And like I said, go ahead.
you know that Ree is now over $6,000 in commissions in, like, what has it been, 26 days since launch? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it has been. I think it has been like 26 days, $6,000. What did she say? She was like 60-something years old.
65 years old, man. It's crazy.
And for all of you baby boomers out there, right? That's a baby boomer, 65 years old. She's one of the old hippies, one of the originals, I have a feeling. You know, you wonder, can you do this? You know, are you late to the game with the internet? You know, is it like, can this really happen for me? Well, there's a woman who just simply followed. She said right in the video, I did exactly what I was told. I followed the steps exactly as they were laid out for me. And boom shakalaka, as we like to say, there she is. All right, I don't know, Greg, are you hearing anything from Cara about whether she can get in here or not?
I believe that she's actually. Oh, I believe she's actually testing a different laptop. So she said that she is coming.
Okay.
And she plans to be here.
All right, well, listen, as I said, what you're experiencing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is creation on the fly. And tonight we want to talk to our existing group of Traffic Authority members, which is thousands of you guys who have earned over $600,000 in commission in just the last 30 days. But we also want to talk to you individuals who got an email today, and you were invited here because you were on our pre-launch list. 65,000 of you joined us in pre-launch. Thousands of you joined us in full-on Traffic Authority. But for those of you who were just, you know, like, for whatever reason, you didn't really get it done, let me just share with you a little bit about what's going on here, and then we're going to bring in some of these other voices. My name is Joe Need. I'm going to be your host for tonight's presentation, and this is live. If you're wondering, is this one of those evergreen webinars? It's live, man. It's 8:10 in the evening right now on I think it's the 17th of September. This is going to be, if you can, a business professional overview. As you can see, we have a tendency to just kind of like fumble around here at the beginning. But please be in a quiet area, stop the texting, shut down the email, put the dog in the yard, close the door, all those things. And as a matter of fact, let me just go over here and shut down the chat, because I'm sure, oh, chat is off. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's get right down to it. As I said, my name is Joe Need, and in the next 45 minutes, you're going to be introduced to three things, our company, the products, and a brand new system that has paid out nearly $600,000 in commissions to people all over the world in just the last 30 days. Now, just a little bit about me, okay? I have been around the block a few times, okay? I've got more miles on me than a 57 Chevy, as they say. And I have been in network marketing and direct selling for 25 years. I have been in all kinds of companies, water filters, health and nutrition, essential oils, prepaid calling cards, you name it, I have been there. I've also been the founder and the CEO of more than one direct selling network marketing company in the top tier. I have traveled the world. I have stood on stage in front of people in places like Athens, Greece, and Sydney, Australia, in Fiji, in Machu Picchu, you name it, all over the Caribbean, the Virgin Islands, as a speaker, as a trainer in direct selling and network marketing. And after all of this time, I can tell you that when I see something magnificent, I know what it is, right? When I see something, I get behind it. And this is that thing. And one of the things I have learned in all of these years that I traveled the world is that people are really hungry for something that is real. Look at Ree, who we just heard from, 65 years old, $6,000 in the last 30 days. And we'll hear from people across time that they're just so frustrated, and they're just like, they've been chasing the dream and joining programs, and they are really, really hungry, but right now they are drowning in skepticism. So tonight we're going to show you the truth, and we're going to do our best to ease that skeptical thinking, and you will be given the opportunity to join our team of internet traffic brokers today. So for the uninitiated, what is Traffic Authority? Traffic Authority is an internet marketing and education company, a community actually, that is dedicated to our mutual success. You'll hear more about that in a moment, about our community. But our specialty is delivering traffic to websites. If you have a website on the internet, the most important ingredient to your success is visitors to your website. We at Traffic Authority are experts at delivering top-tier, high-quality traffic to our customers' websites. Traffic is a commodity that is in high demand, and it will never go out of style. As a matter of fact, the biggest names on the internet today, I'm talking about Google and Facebook, those companies are actually masquerading. They're pretending to be social media and search engine companies. In fact, those two behemoths are the biggest traffic companies in the world. When you go onto Facebook and you're looking at funny cats and, oh, look at that angry cat and look at my daughter's wedding dress, those guys are actually capturing information. And when they see what you're looking at and what you're interested in, they will put ads on your page, and you click those ads. And when you click those ads, that, my friend, is traffic. Someone is paying for that ad to show up on your page. Same thing with Google. These companies are not search engine companies. They are masquerading. These are the biggest traffic companies in the world. Did you ever go to Google and see all of those paid ads? You put in a search, the next thing you know, you got all these ads, all these highlighted features. Every time you click, someone is paying money for you to click that ad. That, my friends, is traffic. And Traffic Authority is one of the, well, let me just say this. Traffic Authority, this team are pioneers when it comes to traffic. Before there was Google or Facebook, this group of engineers was developing their skill, designing and developing system that will deliver views to a website. The market for traffic, well, how can I put this? Is it fair for me to say that the market for traffic was maybe invented by these guys? I would say yes. I think that's a fair statement. What I want to do right now is introduce to you Greg Chambers. Greg Chambers, he's right here. I'm going to bring you out here. Greg is actually one of the founders of Traffic Authority. I met Greg nearly 25 years ago, and at that time, he was a top-tier producer in a major company, and suddenly he said, there's got to be a better way for me to get leads. And he started developing leads for companies before the internet was invented by, was it Al Gore? This is a true story. So, Greg, why don't you come out here and just, I know you got a lot of stuff going on. You're one of the primary architects behind the scene. Would you come out here and just, let the people know who you are, a little bit about your background and your experience with traffic and why this is such an important commodity? And, well, let's face it, dude, I've seen the car that you drive. So I know that traffic is I know that it does well, and I have a feeling that it's not going out of style. Greg Chambers, come out here, man.
Hey, well, thank you very much, and thank you for not using the names I normally hear, like Father Time, and I remember when Greg was producing advertising back in the time of Aristotle and the stuff I've heard like before. So thank you for bringing it up to 25 years ago, which even that I think might be a little bit long. I remember meeting you in Cancun when we actually were doing some lead generation back in the day. In fact, I have to tell a funny story about that we actually printed out leads back at that time. I mean, these were actually leads that were printed out horizontally across 3.5 by 11 piece of paper, and it's amazing how times have changed. Like Joe, like you said, I've been in lead generation for a little over 20 years, and seen a lot of things. To me, I really do believe that the lead, the cold market is the secret for the average person to get ahead. I don't believe the average person is really going to get ahead by, talking to friends and family and, by doing so many of the things that are trained that are just kind of almost counter to being successful. If you watch any successful business, how do they do it? They do it by attracting people through advertising, through direct response to, quality and things like that. So, basically, you're right. I did start out, I was actually a rep in a company, and, I have to be honest with people. I have a history of almost anyone who's successful that failed. I failed my way to success. I was one of those guys that, did a lot of different things before I found success. You guys remember ProStep back in the day? These leads, of people that were given to 10, 15, 20 people. And I'm just telling you, it was one way to cut your teeth on learning how to talk to people in the cold market, because you would literally call and you would hear, "What the F are you doing calling me? I've already talked to 10 people, blah, blah, blah." And I'm telling you, dude, I used to make, I did $2,000 or $3,000 a week with those kind of leads. But what my struggle was, no duplication in my team, because most people could not take that kind of, heat. I have to say, I actually came from a background in collection, and I was a bank manager for a credit card collection department. So I had already had a little bit of I was used to people yelling at me, for calling to collect money. So I just was very lucky in that respect, But bringing it back to, what really works for the average person, what changed for me was I actually began generating, a higher quality lead, a cold market lead that was receptive to hearing from people. And at that time, back in the 90s and 2000s, we did it, with leads that were generated in advance.
Mm-hmm.
What really big change came about 4 years ago for us. Instead of generating a lead and sending that out to someone on a spreadsheet, the ability to generate a real-time response from their website that was unique to them, that was truly, truly special. When we started doing that, we created, some stuff that really was revolutionary that really still no one in the market has today, where we, created some proprietary ways to actually sniff out quality. We basically are very careful with the sources of traffic we have coming in. We track what comes in, we track what goes out. It's a very, very critical piece. But the thing I love about, Traffic Authority and the big change is that we've really brought that, cold market advertising piece that we do for you. We actually put that together, with some very cool tools that enhance that traffic to the maximum. And then we also literally train people, who are interested to do it themselves. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, it's not, doing it one way or another. What you're going to need to do to be successful, you're going to have to utilize multiple strategies to ultimately build your list. And, we really want to invite everyone, to take a very close look at Traffic Authority, because nowhere else on the planet are you going to get more and better information about building your email list, because that's the key factor. If you listen to Vince or Anchor or Mac or Eric Bechtold or Devon or all of these leaders, who came in and crushed it, these guys have spent time, money, effort building lists. And what we're going to do is we're going to help people who do not have lists necessarily or have very small lists, and we're going to teach you how to grow those over time, and we're going to help you to monetize those. And, Joe, I would be remiss if I skipped my very favorite part. The biggest, I think, unique aspect that Traffic Authority has that no one else has, you really have the ability to create your list for free, and you do it through leverage. And it may not be in your first month or your first 3 months. It may take you several months to build your team so you can do it by leverage. But I'm just telling you, you can't do it anywhere else at all in the world. But I'm just going to say this. If you have 2 people that are on your team buying the same traffic package as you every month, who each have 2, yours is free. And all I'm going to say is it's going to be darn hard to not make a profit if your advertising is free. You can't do that anywhere else in the world. And, if you guys want to come in and learn about how you can build your list for free, how you can show your team through a little bit of work and effort how to build your, build your list for free, that's what we're going to do for you. And so, Joe, with that, back to you.
Thank you very much, Greg. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out here. Ladies and gentlemen, how cool is that actually, right? That you've got like the lead dog, right? This is a guy, he just shared his story with you. He's been around for a long time. He was the very first guy who started this entire project. And how rare is it that you actually get that guy to come out on a webinar, right? That's, I mean, of any company that's out there right now, how many guys actually will come out? And I'm going to mute you there, Greg. How many guys will actually come out and share their enthusiasm and let you know a little bit? I know that every once in a while you'll see founders out there, but you see Greg, he's out here all the time. As a matter of fact, he's a regular contributor every single morning at 11 a.m. when we come together as a community at radioleverage.com. I'll talk more about that as we get a little bit more into our presentation here this evening. But let me get back to actually giving you, again, this is creation on the fly. For those of you, the hundreds of you that show up every single morning, you know what I'm talking about. You know how we roll here in the Traffic Authority. So, okay, let me get back to what I'm thinking about here, right? Okay, the team. Okay, Greg is the lead dog in my opinion, and he's a great guy to work with. But I want you to know that there is a team here, an executive team. And I was figuring it out. You know that there was Doug or there was Greg, and we hear from Doug every day. There's a dude named Chad. There's a guy named Jason. There's Adam Whiting. Many of you know who Adam Whiting is, and he comes to the table with like some genius guys who are scattered around the world. I'm thinking that there's over a century. There's got to be more than 100 years of combined experience on this team. And I'm thinking about these coders. I wish I had the franchise for Red Bull and Monster Cola for these energy drinks where these guys were up all night long coding like crazy. The team here is the team that has delivered internet traffic, website views, and buyers to some of the top brands and producers in the industry of internet marketing. I'm talking about, these are the companies, okay? These guys, this team, has been unbelievably influential in companies like Empower Network, Pure Leverage, the Reverse Funnel System, Lightyear Wireless, Team WooCar, Doobly. I mean, these are just some of the names of the companies who just in the last 3 or 4 years have dominated the internet, right? This team here that has been assembled here is the team that is responsible for so much of those results. It really is amazing. And many of the people who have been here, many of the people around the neighborhood, many of the people on the internet have made a fortune with Traffic Authority traffic. Why do they buy from Traffic Authority? Well, because the traffic here is killer. We're talking top-tier traffic. What does top-tier traffic mean? That means that if you purchase traffic from Traffic Authority, it is delivered primarily in North America, primarily US and Canada. The team does its best to filter out, and this is with all respect. We have people who call in every single day from all over Europe and Netherlands and India. It's like, however, the traffic is focused towards North America. So if you're investing your marketing dollars in traffic, you're going to get people who speak English, who are responsive. As a matter of fact, the reason that Traffic Authority is opening up this opportunity is because it is so big. The market actually has asked for more of what it is that we offer. And here's what I'm talking about. According to the Direct Selling Association, and you can look this up for yourself, go ahead, Google. Go to Google, put in DSA. Google will know that DSA is the Direct Selling Association, and ask the number of individuals engaged in a home-based business. The Direct Selling Association will tell you that that's 16.8 million people. That's about 14% of households have a family member involved in a home-based business, and that's just in North America. The World DSA, okay, there's an organization that tracks the whole world, planet Earth, and they say that there's it's ridiculous, 97 million people are operating a home-based business. I got to tell you, that is an enormous marketplace, and it continues to expand, and it continues to expand, and it continues to expand. Okay? We live in a world that relies on the internet. Everything is driven on the internet. How in the hell do you account for 100 million people just like us? People on the internet looking to make a living. These people are on the internet. They are selling products on the internet. They are recruiting new distributors on the internet. Are you beginning to see the potential here? Do you understand that there are nearly 100 million potential customers looking for our Traffic Authority products? the size of the market, the demand for our products, and the simple system that has been created by Traffic Authority, the simple system that has been created by Traffic Authority, that is the reason that over $600,000 in commission was generated and paid out in our first 30 days of operation. Dig that. That's mind-blowing, right? Now, for those of you individuals who were presented this information back in pre-launch, do you see what's going on here? You know, if you took a pass, if you said, oh yeah, you know, it's another one of those things, whatever, do you realize that this is like the biggest company coming out right now? 600 grand? I mean, what have you done since you first saw this in the last 4 weeks? Come on, we've been here every single day, coming together, rallying together, supporting each other, and a system that is defined and developed, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. 600 grand in commission was paid out in the first 30 days. In a minute, I'm going to tell you how to join our team and how you can share in those huge commissions that are being paid out, where you will get the support and where you're going to get the training, where you're going to learn exactly how to do this. But what I want to do right now is I want to bring out to talk a little bit about his results, because he was here in pre-launch, right? This is a guy who just showed up here about 6 weeks ago. You guys know him, right? His name is Vincent Ortega Jr. We feature him on our Google Hangouts with regularity because the guy is just awesome. He's relaxed, and he is crushing it. And for those of you that come around our neighborhood, you visit our Google Hangouts and our webinar jams and stuff, you know who this guy is. I never get tired of hearing his story about how he did it and how he arrived here. So come on out here. And I can't wait for you guys to hear from Cara. She'll be with us in a moment. But Vincent Ortega Jr., how the hell are you, my brother?
I'm doing great, doing great. I actually was just looking at my stats today, and it's so cool that, you know, I'm literally seeing different names almost like every hour or less than every hour of the day making sales. Boom, 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 just making so many sales, and it's exciting for me because at this, you know, kind of internet marketing space and this world, you know, it can be so confusing and it can be so overwhelming and all the different tools we need to make it happen. But now, you know, with Traffic Authority, these people who have literally never made sales before and maybe made one or two over the last like couple years following me, trying to figure out all the stuff I do, are now just crushing it, you know. And it's crazy because, you know, they're all going, man, it just feels so like almost too good to be true. Like I'm making this money and it's just like so easy. All I'm doing is sharing my link and it's going through the process and it's making it happen. And so, you know, the exciting part about that is that I'm not saying for those of you guys who are watching this, you're all going to jump in, you're going to start making sales right away. But the beautiful part about this thing is, you know, there's no technical stuff to it. You know, that's the number one thing that everybody gets confused at in internet marketing. You know, it's like you got to build a capture page. You got to know how to do a sales video. You got to know how to do follow-up emails. You got to know how to cultivate your list and do the relationships aspects. Then you got to do live webinars like this. And pretty much now, I mean, it's all done for you. And so, you know, the exciting part about, especially like Ree, for example, you know, 65 years old, she's made, I think it's almost $6,500, which is kind of a cool number for 6,500. You know, in like 26 days, I think now, it's like all she's been doing is just sending people to our live events, you know. And so, you know, like all that money that's already there for her has just been mainly just, you know, her just talking to, you know, people that are in her network, you know. Now all the traffic's starting to come, which is exciting. You know, people are starting to get leads for the first time ever. You know, they're following up with their leads. You know, a few sales are coming in already. And what you guys got to realize, for those of you guys especially are into, you know, these leads that come in, it's not like, hey, you can't expect them to buy literally on the first time they see the sales video. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But the magic of this system is automatic follow-up emails that are already done for you. That's where the relationships start being built. And then as you send people to live webinars like this, you're going to start understanding. You'll see sales start flowing in, you know, almost, you know, every single day if you really target in and really hone in on what we're teaching you guys. And so, you know, it's just exciting. For those of you guys who are out there maybe here for the first time, just know that, you know, the number one thing on planet Earth is you got to have a lead, no matter what business you're doing, okay? How do you get leads? All right, think about it. Normally, to get leads, you got to do one-on-ones, cold calling, home events, all that stuff. And like Greg was saying earlier, it's annoying really to bother your family and friends, not only for yourself, but for them. You know, with this, you don't have to do that anymore. You know, you're just paying the experts to send targeted visitors to your website that's done for you. And so that's the nice part about it. So it's like you could be in your own business right now already. You still need Traffic Authority. Or you can use Traffic Authority as a business in a box, which is like the most powerful thing ever, because now, you know, you literally are just handing the experts your money to set everything up for you, to drive the traffic for you, and then all you literally have to do is just build and cultivate the relationships with the people that are coming into your email list. And that's the fun part about, marketing and sales in general is when people are coming and chasing you versus you having to go out there and chase them, which is what normal network marketing teaches. It teaches you to write your list, right? And then to bang the phones and call all your family and friends and trick them into coming over to a home event. That's freaking annoying. It's outdated and it's not fun. And it feels weird. It feels gross almost, and it works and it's worked for decades, but to me, it's just gross. I don't like it. And so I found internet marketing and I realized that, dude, I can attract people into my life versus having to attack them, right? And so that's really the magic of what we do here. So even if you're in a network marketing business, you can use Traffic Authority to get leads for that network marketing business. That's the exciting part too. But what I want you guys to realize is that this is just really, a place where, especially like baby boomers, they're finally going, finally, I feel like this is something I could do, because stuff's so techie normally. But then this is also like introverted type of people, people that would be terrible at sales are making sales already because it's not an attack type of situation. It's not, hey, I got to get in front of a room and learn how to speak and coach and mentor and do one-on-ones and all this stuff. It's like, it's just so much more simple. This is probably the most simple thing literally on planet Earth for anybody to do to become a good salesperson, really without selling. And that's the magic. It's like, if you guys knew my life right now, I'm like almost like 160,000 in commissions. I've talked to a couple of those leads on the phone, but not very many of them. Most of them just know me from, the internet. They know me from my email list. They know me from the last several years of working the relationships. And, that's really how it comes down to. It's like, if you can just build a relationship with people through emails, through automation, through marketing that we teach you guys, you're not going to have to literally get on the phone every single time to make a sale. That's the magic. It's literally leveraging your time. It's the same thing we're doing right here with technology with this Google Hangout. There's probably a few hundred people watching this, and there'll be a few thousand that watch it over the next couple days. And we're only having this conversation with you guys one time, okay? And so we expend an hour of energy, and it gets seen thousands of times over the next couple days. That's called leverage. That's essentially what we do here at Traffic Authority. We teach you guys how to leverage your time and energy and effort. And so literally at the end of the day, you can go and look and search and pray and hope that there's going to be some other company, some other opportunity that's going to be, legit for one, and then simple for two, and then have, a product that everybody needs, and you're not going to find it. I promise you that. I've been doing this for 7 years. That's why I'm so excited about this. That's why I'm all in. This is it. This is the #1 thing on planet Earth that you will ever find for ease and speed, for one, and then for a place where it's like, it's a fun, awesome culture. It's engaging. Joe's there every single day on the phone conference calls, with you guys, and it's just everything about it it's full circle. They got everything, and so it's literally one-stop shop. If you've been looking to finally break through, we have the place for you, and that's the magic here, at Traffic Authority. So that's why I'm all in. I've seen every single business opportunity under the sun, and I can tell you that there isn't anything like this. You're going to find out over the next 6 months. All these big leaders that are kind of looking from the wayside, they're like, well, I got to find out. I got to make sure, because I don't want to make, I don't want my followers to think I'm just jumping somewhere. What you got to realize is that, life is about taking chances. It's about taking risks, and that's really what an entrepreneur is if you look up the definition. And so it really comes down to, if you want to be first and position yourself first before the wave, that's the point of momentum that we're in right now. It's like we're literally, I was just talking about it today, we're kind of like, if you think about a house, okay, think about a house being built, banging, it's loud, it's crazy, there's scraps everywhere. It's kind of like our house is built right now, but there's still little pieces of scraps all over the floor that need to be picked up. The walls need to be painted a little bit. But that's the point where you, the visionary, will see the future, right? And so we see the beautiful home. We see the smooth, perfect process of, people coming in, no little tiny glitches, stuff that, people have had to wait on a little bit because we're brand new. That's where we're at right now. We're picking up the pieces, we're picking up the scraps, we're painting the walls, and this thing's about to be beautiful. But what you guys got to realize, that's the point in which people get super wealthy. They see it before everybody else. And you guys are here before everybody else. Period. End of story. And so you take action today, you're probably at least a month or two ahead of what normal action takers will be, but you're about 6 months to a year ahead of where like average people will start joining, average visionaries. And so just be excited that you're here right now. Feel blessed that you're seeing this before 6 months, a year from now, because you're positioning yourself in front of literally all this money and all this momentum. So I'll get off my tangent. You know me, I go forever. So
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not going to let you off that easy because you can just rest up because I'm going to bring you back here in a few minutes because we're going to talk about what the real, what does it really cost? I heard you say, Vince, I'm all in, and that really is a very, very small amount of a commitment. We're going to talk about that, and Vince, in a minute when I get back to you, I want you to share with people the kind of money that you have invested in developing your skill set and the web, all the stuff that you put in. So, we're going to get to that in a minute. Okay, so stand by, enjoy yourself, relax. Okay. And let me get into some more stuff here. What I want to do before I bring out my next guest, Cara, and this is going to be some real, what we're talking about here right now. You want to talk about doing some stuff on the fly. I'm about to do a screen share, okay? And the last time I did a screen share, people were like, oh, we can't see your screen. So I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share right now. And for those of you who are wondering, okay, what about these tools? What am I really going to get? What is this really about? I'm going to share with you my screen, and I'm going to show you what my member back office looks like and the tools that you will have available to you when you say yes. So you become a member of Traffic Authority. How do you build that list? Well, if you have a list or if you have some contacts, we'll show you how to actually monetize that list. And then what you can do is if you really want to turn on the afterburners, you can play at a higher level and then purchase traffic for your list. Okay, you purchase traffic to build your list. Now, here's what I'm going to do here. Let me see what I can do here. All right, let me see. Hold on. Can you guys see my screen right now? Is it a big blue screen?
You are good.
Is that what you see?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is my personal login site. Okay, for those of you who are wondering, okay, what do I get? This is just a quick snapshot. We're going to run through this very, very quickly. I'm going to show you what I think are the most important elements, right? You log into your member back office like I'm doing right now, and the first thing you see, I love that's our official audio. The first thing you see is an introduction to the Traffic Authority. It reminds you of what you have your hands on and what your potential is here for you. And as we go through here, you're going to see we have something called the Traffic Store. This is the place where you will go to purchase traffic, okay? And in this traffic store, you're going to see there's a lot of little sub-menus here. Click here to buy traffic. When you buy traffic, it will tell you exactly what the traffic purchase. Now, this again is once you're already a member, and if you want to drive traffic, okay? So you want to drive traffic. So you want to buy some traffic. So meaning that you want people to see your offer. Maybe your offer is, I don't know, maybe it's a blogging company. Maybe it's an essential oil company. Maybe you want people to learn about Traffic Authority so you can become an internet traffic broker. Well, you want people to see that offer. So how many people do you want to see the offer? Would you like 8,400 people to see your offer? Or 190 people to see your offer? There's all kinds of stops in between here. So once you select the traffic that you want to purchase and you want to drive traffic, then you tell the system, where do you want the traffic to go? We have, as you can see here, these are all pre-created capture pages for you, okay, already done for you. You can select whichever one that you want, right? Or maybe you already have an internet business that you're very excited about, okay? And so you would go right here and you would enter the website of your choice, okay? What is your website goes right in here. So you can select the traffic and you can ask the traffic to go wherever it is that you want, okay? And here there's some other things, how it works, pending orders. This is once you buy traffic. These are the areas that you actually manage your traffic. Traffic Optimizer, this is something that you have. This is a suite of tools. Split Testing Rotator. Okay, this is for some of you guys who actually know about traffic and know about internet marketing, okay? Split rotators, exit pop-ups, timers, site monitors. What does all of this stuff mean? If you're like me, you're going, what in the hell are you talking about? A site monitor? For real? Really? Well, I got to tell you that, you know what, don't worry, because when we get over here into Traffic Academy, this is an upgrade, okay, for those of you guys who are wondering what we talk about all in. This here is actually where you will learn how to use those tools. That's where you're going to learn how to traffic and conversion training. Here's a 30-day traffic plan. Here's live training, which we do tonight. We do this on Tuesdays. We do this every morning. And here's something that I think is the most important element for you guys to see right here, right now. This is your business center. For those of you who are wondering, what do I get for my $47? Or if I upgrade to $144, how is Cara, who we heard earlier today, Anchor, how in the heck does this guy, Vincent Ortega Jr., be making $150,000 in 30 days? It's right here, okay? It's in the business center. There's a home page here, okay, in the business center, okay? And this is what I want to feature. All this stuff is, there's not much here right now. This little piece is still being finalized. But here's something I want to show you, okay? This is what you get. We hear about done-for-you marketing, right? When you become a member of Traffic Authority, you will have all of this stuff right here, okay? The first one here, many of you may know about this. This is the first set of links and capture pages. This is for the Google and Facebook offer. You heard me talking about Google and Facebook being these big companies that actually are pirates. They're actually, one guy said to me one day, he said, Facebook is really a scam. I said, what do you mean it's a scam? He said, you really think that they're worrying about your cat or your brother-in-law's wedding? They're there to harvest and scrape information so they can sell you stuff. Well, we talk about that right here. These are capture pages that you will have already done for you. Let me see if I can pop one of these open, okay? Here's one. This is my personal page right here. And if you look up at the top right here, see my name right there? Can you see right up here? See that? That's my B1 Traffic Authority Net, CP Capture Page 1, Joe. That means when somebody goes here and they fill this out and they go through the process, they are coded to me forever. This is what we refer to when we say done for you marketing. If you're one of the baby boomers like Ree, if you're somebody who just says, you know what, man, I don't have time, I don't have patience to learn this technical stuff, show me how to make money, well, here it is. Boom, shakalaka. Right now, I've got 2 capture pages. I've got a sales page, a bridge page. Okay, maybe I want a more professional presentation. We have something called the rich versus poor sales page. Again, there are different capture pages here. And here's my favorite. We talk about the fact, and this actually is my favorite as I walk you through this stuff. And this is a dry run. You guys know this will get way better by next week. I mean, we're just getting started here. But this is really, really cool. Okay, this is ultra uber cool because this is where people will go to find out about traffic. Okay, if you can see my screen right now, I'm sending this to people who only want to know, where do I get traffic? They're like, hey, you know what? You got a biz op, that's cool. I'm good with that. But I just want to get traffic for my whatever it is. Maybe Empower Network. There, I said it. Okay, so you want to get traffic to your site? Hey man, this is where it happens. So I can send somebody to this link, and they will have a link to my retail page. I mean, this is so cool when you actually can grasp this stuff, right? And so I wanted to share this with you guys. And that I think is, and there's other things here, right? When somebody actually opts in, okay, when they opt into one of my capture pages, here it is. This was the 10th through the 17th. Here's 53 pages of leads of people, okay, who've come through my pages. Okay, there I was testing different funnels, right? And then I've got a downline that I'm building. Okay, these are people who've come into my business. Once they say yes, here's Howard Edwards. This guy said yes to, Traffic Optimizer. Here's Louisa and I've never spoken to these people, right? I've never spoken to these people, but they've already said yes, I'm going to do this. And then down here, and when you understand how the comp plan works, and we'll talk about this later, these are team sales. This is where I'm getting to split commissions with people. And then here's the commissions that are being generated. $1,175 last month, $30 yesterday. And compared to you, Vince, this is small, but you know what? I got a lot going on. Here it is. 1,085 was transferred. That's my little piece right there of the 600 Gs. But I do other things. I'll be honest with you. I'm busy building or helping the team build the stuff for you guys. So don't let my results stand in the way of your results. But my point is that, again, and let me go back here. Let me stop sharing my screen. Isn't that crazy? That's that thing where that goes. All right, I'm back live. I hope I'm back live. Can you see me? Hey, Cara, what are you laughing at? I see you laughing down there. All right, so again, we're just getting started with this, right? Like Vincent was talking about, we're just getting started. We really are. I mean, right now we're going through some growing pains. Some of the stuff you saw in the back office isn't yet completed. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick snapshot, especially for you individuals who we invited here tonight who took a pass on pre-launch. Okay, because I know it's like, oh yeah, another pre-launch. Yeah, these guys, whatever this thing is, just to show you where we are and where we've come in 6 weeks. You know, I look at this as like a G6, like a private jet. The jet takes off and it is burning all the fuel, right? It is pushing, and then suddenly it levels off. When was the last time you were on a commercial jet, right? You sit back and the thing is just going straight up, and it's burning energy and it's burning fuel and it's taking forever and it's and then suddenly it just gets up there in the heavens. And that's what's happening right now with our traffic authority opportunity. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I wanted you to see really what's back there. And all of that for 47 bucks. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? As a matter of fact, what I want to do right now is I'm going to bring you out here in 1 second, Cara, okay?
Okay.
Okay, there's Cara. Before I bring out Cara, and Cara's a regular on our radio broadcast, and she's one of our top people. She's a member of our. She doesn't even know this yet, but she's a member of our traffic control board, which is how we assist the whole team in growth. And I'm getting a little wound up here right now. So before I go back to you, Cara, I just want to quickly, so that I can catch a breath here and get control of myself. Let me show you a little video that I actually, you know where I got this video? I pulled this off the internet. The person who is, I don't know if she's even watching this video, and since I found it on YouTube, I figured, hey man, it's fair game, right? So let me share with you this person who I've never met, and I won't let you, she talks about the 3 reasons that she is here. So stick around. This is 2 minutes long, and when we get back, we're going to hear from Cara from Texas. So stand by. Watch this. All right, sorry. I don't even know. I don't even know your name, Miss. I actually just found that video out there on YouTube because there are so many people in love with traffic authority. So whoever you are out there in traffic authority world, I just copped that video off YouTube. But I had to cut you off because we can't be promoting you on our Google Hangout. So, all right, so much stuff is happening. Our company is exploding with growth. It really is going viral. And one of our up and coming rising stars is this young lady, Cara. Cara, I want you to come out here and just give people a little bit of your background. You know, where you come from, what kind of result that you've experienced in your first 30 days, and then and how did you actually get that kind of a result in 30 days? And what about this community? You know, because you're actually a player in the community every morning. Come on out here, Cara from Texas.
Hi, thank you, Joe. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Great, great. Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks so much for having me on tonight. I'm really excited to be here, and I am just so blessed to be a part of this community and to have been introduced to this opportunity. It's really making such a huge difference in my life already. And, you know, you guys have really hit the nail on the head when you've talked about simplicity. Because that is exactly what I've found since I started. And I haven't even been in 30 days yet. I've only been in 20 days actually today. So a little bit about my background. I have a high school diploma. I have some college, but I did not ever get a college degree. I found myself in the service industry at a very young age, working in restaurants, and I stayed there for pretty much the next 25 years. So giving my age away a little bit here, but I did spend many, many, many years in the service industry, working in restaurants and bars, and you know, I never finished my education. And with that being said, I at some point I realized that I wasn't going to have much of anything to leave to my children. I wasn't going to have much of a legacy. I was getting by, you know, week to week to week. And about 4 years ago, I was introduced to a direct sales company, and I fell in love with the products. So I was convinced at the time to go ahead and join the team for this direct sales company. And I started learning a little bit about, you know, the industry, and I decided, you know, after a few short months that I was done with the service industry. I was absolutely done. I needed something different in my life. I needed purpose. I needed to be able to leave something for my kids that they could be proud of, you know? And so I quit my job and I decided that I was going to become a stay-at-home mom and learn all that I could learn about the direct sales industry. Well, so I stayed with that company for about 3 years, and I didn't really have a whole lot of success. It was average. It was average success. It wasn't, you know, anything grandiose. So I wasn't bringing in thousands of dollars a month like a lot of the leaders, you know, that had been in the company for so long were. And I really didn't see a whole lot of purpose in that company either, although I loved, like I said, I loved the products. And so I was still searching. I was still searching for something else. And so about a year and a half ago, I was introduced to another direct sales company, more products. And those products were in the health and wellness industry. And so it gave my life a little bit more purpose because I was helping people get healthy. But that was actually a startup company whenever I joined with them. It was a startup company, and there was a lot of education behind, you know, having to educate about the products and things like this. And so it just took a really long time for me to start bringing in an income. And it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I needed to be bringing in more income, and just, you know, I still want to, I desire, I don't want to say I want to, I desire to, you know, live out my dreams and provide for my children where they don't ever have to struggle, and leave that legacy to my kids. And in the meantime, I have other dreams that I aspire to. And so I was still searching. Well, 20 days ago, I received a link from a good friend of mine, Michael Scavuzzo. He was awesome. And I trust him completely. He is an amazing guy. He's really cares about people, and I know that he cares about me. He's seen me struggle in my previous business, not because I wasn't working, because I was working my butt off, but I was still struggling, financially. And so I went ahead and took a look, and I took a risk. I've become this entrepreneurial mindset, and so I took this risk, and what I found has been absolutely amazing. I made money. I literally made money on my first day, and all I did was basically follow the steps that were right there. Simple, easy to do steps. I've never done online marketing before. It's always been products. I've always done offline. I'm an offline person. I've done events, and network marketing meetings and home parties and drawing circles on whiteboards and all of this. I've never done anything like this online before. And so, yes, I have a little bit of a list through my social media following, but I have never used any kind of accounts like GetResponse or Aweber or anything like that. I haven't had no skills in that. And so basically now I have the tools to learn how to do all of that. And so it's so lined out, so simply, step by step by step. Here's what you do. If you follow these steps, and if you plug in, get on the calls in the morning, plug into the radio show, plug into the webinars, go into the Facebook group. We have an amazing community there. I think it's like 16,000 people or something like that. We have an amazing community that has tons of synergy. And not only that, our awesome leaders, you guys, are giving us and spending your valuable time with us, teaching us, answering our questions in the Facebook group, on personal messages, again on the morning radio show and on the webinars. And so it's just been simple. And in 20 days, just sharing my link, using some of the resources like the swipe copy and things like that to reach out to my warm market before the traffic went live, I've already made $1,000, like really close to $1,000. And that to me is huge because I've never experienced that before. And so it's just really exciting to know where this is going. I do have some traffic, and we have a great leader in Vincent, and he's really working with our team and showing us how to really use his tips and tricks to be able to maximize the traffic. And so I have still to this day I have not started my traffic. Actually, I started my traffic the other day, but I only set it to like $5 because I wanted to see what $5 would get me. Literally $5 converted 100%. Okay, so I had 5 new leads from $5, which I thought was awesome. And so I can't wait to see what's going to happen whenever I really do kick in the traffic and set it, a little bit higher, a little bit higher for the day. Mm-hmm. But I feel so blessed. I feel like, I've asked God, or the universe, whatever people want to call it. I've asked for, purpose in my life. I've asked, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? Just put me where I'm supposed to be, and I have absolute faith that, he's done that. He's put me here for a reason, and I mean, it's showing up when I go to my husband and I show him my email, look, I made $100 commission today. I mean, that puts a huge smile on his face too. So So it's just been really awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you're doing still for us, and I just can't wait to, 6 months from now to see where, I'm going to be and where my team's going to be, and, I'm just so very thankful.
Well, Cara, we're thankful for you taking the time to come here tonight, and I'm grinning like the Cheshire Cat. I'm actually getting some chill bumps. I can see Greg down there. You guys, if you look down there at Greg, he's like grinning like a madman, because this is so exciting for me to hear you, Cara, because we hear guys like Vincent Ortega, and we hear about Devon Brown and Anchor, and there's the people on the leaderboard who are really they have some experience, right? They've been doing this for a while, and it really warms me to see you, who's come through so much, who just said, okay, let me follow the leader. And now you're following the leader, and look at the results that you're having. And as we've come through the last 30 days, there has been some stuff, right? We stumbled out of the gate, and it was like misfiring. We did a webinar one time, and it's like, oh my goodness, we're not even ready. We're just, it's like that's part of the process. But you never lost sight of what really is possible if you just follow the steps. And a couple things you mentioned our community. Every morning we come together as a community at 11 a.m. And then you also mentioned the swipe files. One of the things we do, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Cara. One of the things we do, ladies and gentlemen, every morning is we come together on our radio show, and we also have like our daily marching orders. People receive an email every morning, and that's just starting, by the way, you guys. Every single morning, a personalized email with swipe files for that day and things that you should be doing on that day to just move your business along. Just move your business along. Move your business along. And thank you very much, Cara. You exemplify so much of what is possible here. Vincent, if you're still there, I want to bring you back out quickly. I don't know if you're still there or not. I see your image down there, Vincent. He's very busy. I can hear his cell phone going on and on. I'll get to Vincent in a moment, okay? Oh, there you are. All right, dude, quickly, okay, quickly, and then I'll give that. I won't bring you back. But one of the things I want you to talk about, like just now, we heard from Cara. She's she said, I spent $5 and I got 5 leads. Okay, awesome. Vincent, just very quickly, would you tell the world, what happened to you in your first couple of years? And I know, dude, I know that you do extraordinarily well, right? 150 grand in 3-4 weeks. But what did it take you as far as an investment of time and money, right? Time and money to develop your skill set. And now, if you'll speak to this idea of compressing time, right? We can get people in 12 months to making Vince Ortega kind of money, right, bro? Come on out here.
Totally. I mean, like I said, when I first started in the industry, I saw a couple guys making $1 million on the internet, and I was like, I can do that, and that's really all it takes for one. If you believe you can do this, you can do it. You just got to stick with it. And so, for the first couple of years, I worked my butt off. I tried to learn a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, I didn't make money for 2 years, and I was really just out here kind of learning stuff. And then what I would do is I would just share what I learned with other people for free. And naturally, that started building my email list, because I saw the guys, they'd put a little free video and then a little thing to put the name and email in there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You start building an email list. That makes sense. I can write one email and send it to a whole bunch of people. And so for the first 2 years, I was just giving, it was 7 years ago, that was Facebook. People didn't even know how to use Facebook yet. And so I really wasn't even doing necessarily marketing yet. I was just like, here, this is how you use Facebook. And so people would give me their information, how to use it, and then I'd teach them how to connect with business owners as it kind of evolved, network marketers, stuff like that. And then next thing you know, after 2 years of just trying things, signing up for affiliate programs, thinking I was going to make money, trying auto cycler programs and all kinds of crazy stuff that promised me money, I finally just realized that, hey, it's all about, the value I give to the world, and it's about getting more leads on my email list so I can market to them. And so eventually, I think it was 2.5 years in or so, I made a $37 a month membership area, and I launched it. And next thing you know, I'm making I think 100 people signed up, so it was $4,000 a month. I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, this is real. But that was after 2.5 years of struggle to build an email list of 2,000 people. 2.5 years. Right now, you can go on Traffic Authority, you can pay for the diamond package. You're probably going to get 2,000 leads, literally, within your first 30 to 60 days, however fast that traffic can go. So compressing time is really what we do here, And so you can't expect to get those 2 leads and then make $4,000 right away. You got to understand that over those 2.5 years of relationships of building a 2,000 person email list, I built relationships during that time. So when I did launch, they knew me, they trusted me, they liked me. And so what you guys got to realize is that as you get these leads and these automatic emails start going out, because that's the cool part about this, you're paying them, they're going to, Greg, he's got this awesome stuff, he's going to send you a whole bunch of traffic, you're going to get some leads, these automatic emails are going to go out, but you have to inject your personality into your emails. And it's so simple. You're literally writing one email, you're pushing a button, and it's sending out to all those leads. And as you inject your personality, as they start to trust you, as they start to realize that you're not going to leave them and go stray and go somewhere else, they're going to start buying more and more and more. More and more people are going to buy off your email list that you're generating traffic from. And so that's what I want you guys to understand is the hardest thing, which took me 2.5 years to get 2,000 leads, you can do literally in the next 30 to 60 days if you have money to do that. And then after that, I mean, you're just building a relationship with your email. I mean, I feel like seriously, you can take my 7 years of experience and compress it into about 12 months. And we're going to find out, obviously that is just my vision and see. But I mean, I see no reason why if you have some finances out there, ability to get a credit card, do what you got to do to get, highest packages so you can really start getting these leads in, that you can compress and get into my lifestyle literally within the next 12 months, And so we're going to have crazy success stories like that. We're going to have people that have gone from literally nothing to $10,000 a month is normal. We're going to have people that go from nothing to 20 to 30 to 40 to $50,000. Obviously, we can't say that, legally, but that's our vision. You can see taearnings.com for that disclosure. But realize what we're doing here is that's the deal. I mean, you're going to be able to do the hardest part in internet marketing just by leveraging and allowing Greg and his team, right, to dominate. And then you're going to have Joe here every single day on a conference call for your people that, you're going to see that he actually cares. You're going to see the other owners, Adam, they care. So everybody cares that's a part of this community, and that's really what it comes down to. The reason that people buy from you is because they trust and they respect you and they believe you, And so you can't expect cold leads to just start buying and buying and buying because they don't know you. Relationships are everything. And so just realize my email list is now 150,000 people around the world. That's after 7 years of doing systems and solutions and processes and paying things. I mean, I've spent easily over $1 million. I was just looking, if you count the amount of dollars that I spent for systems plus the amount of money that I paid for affiliates to drive traffic to my systems, we're talking $2 to $3 million, okay? And so what I want you guys to realize is that it's not an overnight thing, but the beautiful part about this is 12 months, it's going to feel like overnight, and that's the thing. I want you to realize that my 7 years feels like it's only been a couple of years, and so, for those of you guys who, maybe bought traffic 2.5 weeks ago and it hadn't started yet or whatever, just realize it's only 2.5 weeks, you're talking, you got another week or two or whatever till your traffic starts moving. Just chill, just relax, it's all good. And then for those of you guys who are, brand new here, just realize that, look, it took me 7 years to get this lifestyle of complete freedom, sitting behind a computer's chair, making 6 figures a month, and, you guys can do that in 12 months. You guys are blessed, so just relax, just chill, but take action and get in and start learning. There's so much good training back there. The training back there that you're getting for $47 a month, and then the training you get back there for $97 a month, that stuff is training that you're going to go pay $9.97 just to get access to normally. You're going to pay $1,000 for the same training that you're only going to be paying, $144 for if you get both of those in combined. And so, that's the first step. Get in there, start learning, start implementing, start understanding what this is all about. But literally, when it comes down to it, after you learn, you implement, you put in the time, you put in the energy, all it is writing an email and sending it to your email list. And that's it. And then you're just cultivating relationships, And so you just got to put in the effort, you got to put in the time to just set it up, which is like, it takes 30 seconds literally to push a button and copy and paste the code in to set up your emails. But what takes a longer bit of time, which is going to take you over the next few months, is to really understand, it's not about just pushing a button and sending an email. It's about pushing a button, sending an email that tells those people that you're there for them, that you're a real person, that you're going to guide them, that you're going to coach them. And the only way you can guide them, coach them, train them, and teach them is when you get in there yourself and you start watching those videos in the back office 7 to 11 times. Each video is anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 to 40 minutes. But you need to watch each one of those videos 7 to 11 times. And then you'll become an expert. Then you'll become an authority. Then you'll become somebody that people trust. Then you'll be getting on webinars like this, and then you'll start, you'll start explaining stuff that just makes sense. And that's when people start to pull out their credit card and buy, is when you can make sense of the situation. And so at the gate, we help you. But over time, our whole goal is to make you become a leader. All right, and if you become a leader, that's when you can get the lifestyle. Without the leadership, the lifestyle will just kind of, it'll be all right. It'll be cool if you just let us do kind of most of the work for you. But if you want the real lifestyle, the full-time income, the $10,000 plus months, the real living kind of thing, it's time for you to step up, you know. And every single one of you have it inside of you. It's just a matter of you believe the nonsense that's came in your circle your whole life. You believe that you're supposed to be average. It's just you got to step outside of the box and make it happen, all right? And so we have all the ability, you know, all the leadership, all the people that are, you know, kind of there that will give you the energy, give you kind of the, you know, ability to think bigger, right? But then it just becomes you, the person that has to decide that. And so we can't make that decision. You have to make that decision. I can just tell you, from my 7 years experience, you know, literally making millions of dollars on the internet, I've never been more excited in my life, and I've never been more excited in my life for people just like you out there who is brand new to this industry, who just has no clue about technical stuff. I know you guys are going to win because I'm already seeing it. And I'm already seeing people who have no clue about setting up a website, no clue about email marketing, no clue about anything making money. And that shows you that we have a true, simple, and easy system here. And that's really what it's all about. Life is about simply, you know, creating something that anybody can do. That's what's duplicatable. And that's what we have here. You know, it's not duplicatable. Home meetings, home events, all that stuff, that's not duplicatable. That's why only a small percentage of people win in that world. It's because it's not duplicatable. Okay, what we have here is truly duplicatable, and that's exciting. All you're doing is literally handing the experts your money, and then you're learning how to cultivate the leads that are flowing into your life. And that's just, I mean, that's all there is to it, man. So, you know, you guys are going to win out there. It's just a matter of you taking action, kind of getting in the flow of process. Don't get overwhelmed and excited where you think that things have to happen tomorrow or the next day or even the next month. Just realize this is a process, you know. 12 months. Give yourself 12 months full in, all in, and I promise you, by the time you look back 12 months from now, you're going to feel like that was just like 12 days. Very simple, right? And so it becomes second nature. Some people are like, oh, I copy and paste this or that. You know, you got to realize that, you know, it's life in general. We all take a while to walk, for example. You know, it takes us 2.5 years, 3 years just to walk properly. I mean, so you don't want to come in here and expect that you're going to be an expert in 30 days. You know, so just give yourself some time, but know that you're positioned at the perfect time for this particular company and this position moving forward, because nothing in history has ever been done before like this too. And so that's really what it comes down to. You got to be the first, and you got to execute. And that's really all there is to it, and that's where we're at. So just feel blessed, like I said, earlier. It's like, timing's everything in life, and just feel blessed that you're here now, versus 12 months from now when everybody's already crushing it. So at the end of the day, it's perfect, man. For those of you guys who are out there, it's time to take action.
Yes, it is. And Vincent Ortega, thank you very much. And if you guys will stick with me for just another, I'll do my best, okay? I'll do my best to get us out of here within the next, couple of minutes here. So here's where we're at, right? I know that you guys are wondering, okay, how do I get paid? Okay, how does this really work? Well, to get started with our business, it's only a $20 decision. You get a reseller's license for $20. But if you really want to be serious, you want to get the tools. It's a $47 decision. And Vince has been talking about going all in. So let's be real. We're grown-ups here. $144, and you are a fully vested member of our community. You have the reseller license. You have the traffic optimizer, which is all of those zany tools that I showed you, which I'm still trying to figure out. But we have teachers who are going to teach you. And then we also have the upgrade to the full-on package, which includes the Traffic Academy. Across the board, it's $144 for you to be all in. Now, dig this, okay? There is no product purchase required to participate in our plan, okay? There is no product purchase required. To become a reseller for $20 and start making sales, you can earn your qualification. Not too much detail here tonight. We'll get into more of this on some of our video content. You're going to pass up some sales to your sponsor. But as a savvy business person, you're going to want to purchase the $144 package and then decide which traffic package works best for you. Now, there's a lot of detail on this plan in the back office. To keep it simple, though, as far as how you make money here, how do you make money as a traffic authority, internet traffic ninja, as we like to refer to ourselves? There's a lot of detail in this member back office. When you become a member, you'll have all that video content. We actually have a plan where you can put in your numbers. How much money do you see yourself making? What is your dream lifestyle? And we will actually work with you on a formula for you to achieve that goal. Now listen, there is no guarantee that you are going to make money here. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that most people won't make money here. And here's the reason why. Although this is very, very simple, all you have to do is get some traffic going. All you have to do is show up every single day. All that you have to do is plug in. Follow our step-by-step process, like to the yellow brick road, man. That is very simple, but it is not easy. And quite frankly, most people lack the discipline required to live the dream lifestyle. If it was simple, everyone would do it. But the reason that you're here right now, I believe that you have what it takes. We do have a plan. We do have a formula. We do have a heart. Okay? Now here, just to give you a quick thumbnail of the way it works. Traffic Authority pays up to 45% on the traffic package that you buy once you qualified. Okay? Now on that $144, that's a monthly subscription. On that $144, Traffic Authority is paying out $70 a month on that $144. Now there's detail again in the member back office on how those commissions are split. The most important thing for you to understand, especially if you've come from some of these latest and greatest companies, is here there are no pass-ups. You will never pass up a person. You may pass up a commission. You have to get qualified to receive the money, but there are no pass-ups. And once you are qualified and in a money-making position for life. So it's very, very simple. Tonight, you can become a member of our traffic family. It's a one. I'm saying all in, right? For those of you who are, hard pressed, $20, you get the reseller license. Just do it. $47. Come on, man. Now you've got all the tools, and $144. You have it all. And what do you really get here? Tonight I shared with you some of the training. We heard from Vincent Ortega, who's just crushing it. We heard from one of our up-and-coming rising stars who's excited to make her first grand. You can watch the webinar only if you want to, over again if you want to hear what these individuals had to say. But my point is that you just take action, okay? You just take action now. It's a very simple decision. For those of you who were with us in pre-launch, you still have a website whether you know it or not. Our pre-launch website is trafficauthority.net/join. Just go back there. If somebody invited you here tonight and to see this webinar and find out what's going on, it's in the very early stages, get back with that person. Vince, one of the things he didn't say here a moment ago is that, in his front line, Vince has, I think, give or take 300 people front line to him in Traffic Authority. That 300 people has morphed into $150,000. And when you really understand recurring income, people, they become members of Traffic Authority. They love what's going on here. They want to be part of the community. Every single month, that's passive residual income coming to you when their membership renews. 300 people, $150,000 for Vincent Ortega Jr. This is a simple decision, really. All in is only $144. The education is awesome, the money is crazy, and the community experience here is priceless. Again, the market is huge, the demand is obvious, and most importantly for you, the experience, the know-how, and the team is here that will take you by the hand and coach you to internet marketing success. Would it be cool for you to fire your boss? For you to decide when and where you want to work? To be in charge of your very own paycheck? Imagine for a moment getting up in the morning, pointing your computer mouse, clicking a link, and money is pouring into your bank like water pouring over Niagara Falls. Now, again, that can happen for you. Whether or not it does happen for you, it's very, very simple, but it's not easy because it requires a decision tonight, and it requires discipline every single day, doing very, very simple things over and over and over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chance to finally be at the front of a massive opportunity. This is your chance to live life on your terms. This is your chance to capitalize on a phenomena that only comes around once in a lifetime. A merging of trends that is nearly impossible to comprehend. 16.8 million buyers craving a product that is the difference between winning and losing in the world of internet marketing. The relentless momentum of the internet marketing space and the money that is being made by hundreds of people around the world and a team of professionals here who have a vested interest in your success, your massive success, is inviting you to the table tonight. I mean that. This is the place where you can finally be at the right place and the right time, and you can finally cash in quickly and easily. This is simple. For as much as you would spend on a pizza dinner for 4, you will have your very own turnkey built for you business. I already went over all the stuff for you. Right now tonight, you have 2 live sales funnels that are coded to you. You have 4 different landing pages, retail site, and this is just the beginning. Now listen, tomorrow morning and every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, myself and a cast of very interesting characters from all over the world come together to hang out, to learn from each other, and just hang around. So be there. Tomorrow morning, radioleverage.com is where you can find us on the internet. We stream live on the internet. Thousands of people every single week are joining us there. Your voice will be heard, and your questions will be answered tomorrow morning if you just come there. We do have a Facebook group. We talked about it. You heard Cara talking about the awesome community that we have on Facebook that will assist you in getting your questions answered and getting you out of the gate. Here it is, ez.com, E as in Edward, Z as in zebra, .com /TAFB group. That's it. And if you are one of the pre-launch members who has yet to make the decision to join us, just go to your pre-launch website. It's waiting for you right now. All you got to do there is log in and say yes. Get started right back there. Again, that website is trafficauthority.net /join. Or get back to the person who invited you here. Listen, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to join us here this evening. Again, this is a work in progress, okay? We are doing our best here, and usually our best is good enough. Again, I want to thank Cara for coming here. Vincent Ortega Jr., you're awesome. Of course, Greg Chambers. On behalf of everyone else in the team, we have Adam Whiting and Doug Wellens has been Skyping me throughout this evening's presentation. Again, we thank you guys for taking the time. We only wish you massive success, and we do have a plan if you're willing to just follow the yellow brick road. Until tomorrow morning, guys, we'll see you at 11 a.m. Eastern at radioleverage.com. I'm out.